Tesla, the company, in a tweet this morning saying it plans to seek shareholder approval for another stock split. This would be the second that it's done in a couple of years. The other one, remember, was effective back in August of 2020. Well, you saw the stock is up about 5% this morning. And by the way, it's more than doubled since that previous stock split.
So I think the fact that this is the second stock split in 2 years, it just shows that they're in that massive position of strength. They have that high-class problem of a 4-digit stock. The stock split is a smart strategic move for Tesla.
In this video, Will Smith announces he'll be seeking therapy to deal with his issues and says being a compliant cuck and allowing his wife to bang other dudes is starting to get to him. Wait. Wrong intro. Sorry about that, guys. In this video, Tesla signals their intent for shareholders to vote for another Tesla stock split at their upcoming annual meeting. And spoiler alert, investors will vote and will approve the stock split, so it's just a matter of time. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, there's a bunch of ways you can support the channel, access exclusive content and perks, and get some free stocks and crypto. Check out the links in the pinned comment below. You can get 2 free stocks with WeBull, a free stock with Stake, free Bitcoin with Coinbase, and free Bitcoin with BlockFi, and the BlockFi Bitcoin Rewards credit card. You can also pick up some Tesla, Elon, and investment themed merch in the merch store. If you want to take it to the next level, join thousands of members on Patreon to gain exclusive access to over 100 Q&A videos, loads of exclusive content, exclusive access to my up-to-date 10-year Tesla stock price targets, and even access my Tesla valuation model at the investor support level and above. So check out the links in the pinned comment below, and thanks for your support. First up, Tesla stock surging today, up more than 8%. Yes, the company put on over $80 billion in market cap in a single day, up over $80 per share, closing at almost $1,100 per share. Why? Because of this tweet. The official Tesla account posting this, quote, Tesla will ask shareholders to vote at this year's annual meeting to authorize additional shares in order to enable a stock split. As I said in the intro, 99.99999942069% chance this is approved by Tesla stock investors. Gary Black on Twitter providing some interesting insights about the last Tesla stock split. Quote, in August 2020, after Tesla announced its 5-for-1 split, Tesla stock ran up 13% on day 1, 4% on day 2, and 20% by the end of the week. In week 2, Tesla increased by 24%. This time is different because no stock split has been yet announced, but clearly board intent is there. Tesla is up over 8%. Here's a shot from Bloomberg showing what happened. Tesla stock August 11th, 2020, $274 per share, split adjusted. By the end of August, Tesla stock up to almost $500 per share, which pre-split was $2,500. Many investors out there attribute Tesla's stock surge following the announcement of the stock split back in August 2020 to that very announcement and nothing else. And I attribute their conclusions to a severe lack of thinking. Don't get me wrong, it certainly had some impact. I personally believe in the coming months, Tesla's stock will surge. Overall, certainly going to be very volatile, but if you haven't seen my Tesla price targets, you probably don't understand where I'm coming from. We're just getting started. Even my bear case is over $1,600 per share. If you want access, link in the corner or the pinned comment, join Patreon. Every supporter at every level gets instant access to the price targets plus a ton of exclusive content. I personally believe that in the coming months between now and when the stock split takes place, Tesla stock surges, and most of the market erroneously attributes the majority of this rise in Tesla stock price to their stock split rather than fundamentals of the company, like more than doubling their production capacity year over year, enormous margins, insane wait times, incredible demand, the best technology, an unassailable lead, the continued expansion of Shanghai and Fremont, plus Austin and Berlin, stupendous profits and staggering rates of growth. Of course, I could be completely wrong, but my prediction, I know, fraught with danger. Nobody knows what will happen to stock prices, especially over the short term. But my short-term prediction, toward the end of this year, Tesla stock significantly higher than where it is today. Most investors, most analysts, most in the mainstream finance media blaming Tesla's insane rise on the stock split and not the improving fundamentals. This, of course, will leave many investors, many analysts thinking this stock is way overpriced, it doesn't make sense, it's gone up so much because of the stock split, this is insane, retail investors are morons, not touching the stock. Then, of course, Tesla continues to scale, announce new factories, new products, continue to improve profitability, benefit more from economies of scale, and we find ourselves in the exact same situation in a year or two's time. In short, I believe the split announcement is going to mask the actual reasons as to why Tesla stock moons in the coming months. Now, let's see some of the mainstream finance media and Wall Street stock analyst reactions.
We're shifting gears now to look at this year's annual Tesla shareholders meeting, which will include a vote to offer additional shares in order to facilitate a stock split, which would be the second within the past 3 years. Well, here to help us go deeper into that decision is Wedbush Managing Director Dan Ives. So Dan, what are your thoughts on the timing of this announcement, especially given Tesla's recent expansion with its German manufacturing plant, as well as trying to double down in China?
Look, Tesla right now is in a massive position of strength in terms of where they're heading, from a manufacturing perspective in terms of Berlin as well as Austin and overall demand. So I think the fact that this is the second stock split in 2 years, it just shows that they're in that massive position of strength. They have that high class problem of a 4-digit stock. And I think it's something where, you could always have the debate, but a stock split is a smart strategic move for Tesla, just like it was for Amazon, just like it was for Google, as well as for Apple as well.
Plenty of great points there from Dan Ives. Among them, certainly Tesla is doing this from a position of strength, and this is definitely a high-class problem.
Is this an anticipated shareholder vote or split that you would be buying further into, Dan?
Look, it's one of those, fundamentally is why you buy Tesla. And I think fundamentally that's something that continues to sort of move higher based on where we see demand, as well as now the manufacturing footprint where supply is no longer going to be an issue. And they could ultimately double units year over year going into 2022, despite obviously some of the issues that you're seeing in China and some of the COVID issues. But look, retail, obviously like stock splits. And I think Tesla, that there's always going to be a debate, but the stock splits is something where they believe as the stock continues to get higher, they're going to continue to go down this path. And it's hard to argue with the last one where the stock's up about 3x since that in August 2020.
Another thing I'd like to add, this seems to be a very, very strong signal from Tesla management that they believe the company and the stock price will continue to slay it. The last thing you want to do is announce a stock split, and by the time the split actually happens, the stock's plunged 20, 30, 40+%. It's not outside the realm of possibility, but the fact that Tesla has announced this with the stock around $1,000 per share and only just having recovered from a recent massive dip, just a reminder, we're up about $400 per share for Tesla stock in the last couple of months since things bottomed out. This is a very strong signal to me that Tesla management are extremely confident about the company's continued execution and total domination.
And history certainly seemed to be on Tesla's side with the stock split. Companies have outperformed the S&P 500 after stock splits, and that margin grows wider by the time they hit the 12-month mark.
Hate to rain on everyone's parade here, but chicken and egg? Is it possible that the companies historically who've announced stock splits have done so because they've been so successful in the lead up that their stock prices surged out of the grasp of typical retail investors, and after the stock split that was necessary because they've been slaying it so much, said company continues to slay it and outperforms the wider market, which is the whole reason they ended up needing to split their stock in the first place. Is that possible? Definitely not. It's all just to do with the fact that the stock itself split and not the actual company's performance in the lead up and subsequent to that split.
Do you think that will be the case for Tesla, given some of the headwinds, as you mentioned, things like tight supply, chip shortages, as well as the COVID outbreaks in Shanghai that have halted production for now?
Look, I think in EV, it's an arms race. And I think there's perception where more and more competition, that's a negative for Tesla, which we disagree with. I think what you're actually starting to see is more and more adoption, especially in Europe. You look at gas prices, what we're seeing sort of globally. This is going to be a major catalyst for Tesla. I think ultimately EV demand could accelerate by 2 years in terms of what we're seeing with $6, $7 gasoline, and especially what we're seeing in Europe. And I think they're further flexing their muscles from a manufacturing perspective. You don't buy it because of the stock split. You buy it because fundamentally where you think it's going to go. But the stock split is going to be something that is a catalyst. It's been rumored for what's called the last 4 or 5 months. And I think it was smart to sort of get it out there so at least investors, it's transparent in terms of which way they're heading.
Dan, the timing of this announcement, what does that tell you about what Tesla is seeing in terms of demand, especially with Giga Berlin finally opening up?
It's bullish. I think from a tea leaf perspective, company that's going to do their second split in 2 years is not doing it because they're in a position of weakness. I think it shows position of strength, confidence. I think we go into 1Q, you're going to see more and more momentum, especially from a manufacturing perspective. You got the April 7th barbecue in Austin where that cuts the ribbon there. And despite all the noise, despite all the competition, right now, Tesla, at least in EV land, it's really Tesla's world and everyone else paying rent.
So then to that point then, Dan, how much further does this move put Tesla ahead of some of these other EV rivals, not just in the US, but also in China as well?
In China, specifically like NIO, XPeng, Li Auto and others, phenomenal technology. I think the issue that Tesla has is the manufacturing footprint. Giga Shanghai is really going to be upwards of 1 million per year. So they have significant brand, significant manufacturing capability, and of course, battery technology. When you look globally, I mean, many companies, they're just trying to get off the ground. Yet Tesla just continues to further flex their muscles.
To put it lightly, Tesla certainly are flexing their muscles. To be a little bit more accurate though, I'd probably say instead they're swinging around and turkey slapping everyone in sight with their gigantic lead.
Shares of Tesla soaring in this session, up well over 7% on news that the company is considering a stock split at its annual shareholders meeting later this year. If shareholders approve,
we will.
That would mark the first split since August 2020. Let's bring in Yahoo Finance's Praz Subramanian, who's following that story for us. And obviously, Praz, investors liking the news when you consider, I'm looking at the numbers here, shares have more than doubled since the last split back in 2020.
Yeah, it's surprising that we're hearing about another split here, but why not, right? Like I said, the stock bouncing here nicely, second time in less than 2 years. Like you said, we're going to ask about this. Shareholders going to vote on this at the next annual meeting. Probably it's going to be in June. We don't know the details of this new split. Following their first split back in August 2020 was 5-for-1 split. As shares jumped dramatically post that split, shares then reclaimed back went back up to $1,000, and then they also crossed that magical $1 trillion market cap. We're also seeing some analyst commentary already pretty bullish. Dan Ives saying that, following splits by Apple, Amazon, and Google recently, this move by Tesla is a smart strategic move that will be a positive catalyst for shares going forward. Now, theoretically, splits shouldn't really matter, right? Because you're not really creating more value, just expanding the share base. But they do work for a number of reasons. And a couple of things I want to note here. Typically when you make shares cheaper, you're expanding the amount of people that can buy shares, like everyday investors. You expand that shareholder base.
Absolutely. This is basically the only real reason that you do split your stock. There's many retail investors out there still today who don't have access to fractional shares. Maybe they can't afford to spend over $1,000 per share to buy Tesla stock. 5-for-1 split means you're now looking at $200 to own a share of Tesla rather than $1,000. 10-for-1, $100. So it does make a massive difference, especially for investors who don't have high incomes and or don't have access to fractional shares.
You also make it more attractive for indices, right? It's more easily, you can add these shares that are cheaper to these indices, like the S&P, the NASDAQ 100, funds that track these indexes must start buying these shares to sort of match the index. So you see more buying there from fund managers. And lastly, these make options cheaper, right?
This is far and away the most important point in terms of the impact on Tesla stock. If Tesla stock splits and the stock price becomes cheaper, so too do options in the same proportions. Depending on which options you're considering today, as I record this before Tesla stock is split, you can be spending upwards of $20,000 on a single options contract. Should Tesla's stock decrease in price, option contracts will decrease in the same proportion. If it's a 5-for-1 split, then that means the cost of options will be a fifth of what they are today. Maybe you're looking at $5,000 instead of $20,000. Probably going to make a bit of a difference. And options activity can drive major movements in the price of an underlying stock. I won't get into all the reasons as to why, maybe in another video. But the point is, if Tesla stock splits, in effect, options become dramatically more affordable. This probably means a lot more participation from retail investors in particular.
Cheaper share price make options cheaper, and this has become a big deal with retail traders, the Wall Street Bets community getting into derivative trading. So a number of reasons why you could see a stock split that shouldn't really move the stock, move it pretty dramatically.
Sheesh, Pras, you could do Yahoo U for me. That was an excellent breakdown of how stock splits work, man. Hey, I want to ask you about another news headline on the Tesla front, that being, of course, the Shanghai Gigafactory. We know that there have been more lockdowns in China because of their zero COVID policy. How is that going to affect production in that very critical market for them?
Yeah, Brian. So we're possibly looking at a second shutdown this year. Bloomberg is reporting as part of Shanghai's sort of two-phase COVID testing sprint. They're shutting out part of the city, and the Gigafactory is located in that part that's part of the first shutdown. So it sounds like they're going to be shut down from today and then through Friday at the latest, at the earliest here. It's at least 4 days of being shut down. The last shutdown was for 2 days. So this is dramatically a bit longer of a shutdown of that factory. And, we're not sure how long this could be, but if you think about it, it could be a decent amount of production lost, right? Because, you have 1 week shutdown, and it might take another week to get everything back online, get those assembly lines back going. So 2 weeks of shutdown, it's almost, using back of the hand math, it's almost 17,000, a little bit more than 17,000 vehicles that could be lost in terms of production. So it's not insignificant here, but to keep an eye on it, especially for investors that are watching that China bull case being such a big story of Tesla and the shares moving higher. But, that stock split just kind of overshadowing any of this stuff.
As far as the temporary factory shutdowns go, not a big deal. Sure, it's a pain in the ass. And as spoiler alert, they're not going to do shit. COVID zero. Good fucking luck with that, you idiots. But besides that, not a big deal. Of course, if we were talking about weeks or months of shutdowns, maybe a different story, but I don't see that happening in any conceivable reality. So what does another Tesla stock split mean for Tesla stock investors? Nothing really. I mean, sure, the number of shares you have will change. The value of each share will change. But fundamentally, it makes no fucking difference whatsoever. I think it's a good idea. I think it's bullish. It signals Tesla has extreme confidence in their execution in the coming months and years, obviously. But I think it's a gigantic nothing burger. That being said, the stock market may disagree. We may see Tesla run. We'll probably see a lot of discussion about this split, but at the end of the day, it doesn't change anything fundamental about the company. I'd love to know in the comments below, what ratio do you think Tesla should split their stock at again? 5 for 1, 10 for 1, 20 for 1? Personally, I'm voting for 10 for 1. Why? Well, that'll put me within spitting distance of 69,420 shares of Tesla stock. Maybe that's when I'll stop buying. I'm just kidding. I don't think I'm ever going to stop. Once again, congrats to Tesla stock investors. Great day. And lastly, if you'd like to access my exclusive content over on Patreon, check out the card in the corner or the link at the pinned comment. Not only will you gain instant access to my up-to-date Tesla stock price targets out over the next 10 years, you'll also gain access to over 100 exclusive Q&A videos with loads of topics on loads of things, including a lot of stuff I can't even talk about here on YouTube. So I'll see you over there. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, there's a bunch of ways you can support the channel, access exclusive content and perks, and get some free stocks and crypto. Check out the links in the pinned comment below. You can get 2 free stocks with WeBull, a free stock with Stake, free Bitcoin with Coinbase, and free Bitcoin with BlockFi, and the BlockFi Bitcoin Rewards credit card. You can also pick up some Tesla, Elon, and investment themed merch in the merch store. If you want to take it to the next level, join thousands of members on Patreon to gain exclusive access to over 100 Q&A videos, loads of exclusive content, exclusive access to my up-to-date 10-year Tesla stock price targets, and even access my Tesla valuation model at the investor support level and above. So check out the links in the pinned comment below, and thanks for your support. And if you're still watching, you're awesome. I read every single comment on this channel and I really appreciate your feedback. So if you've got any thoughts on today's video, questions, comments, or suggestions for a new video, let me know in the comments below. Check the cards on screen now to browse the merch store, join Patreon, or watch the next video.